Did y'all see what that white granny said about black people at the No Kings rally? Watch this.
Seems like there's a lack of diversity here today. That it's mostly people who look like you and I. And I just
it is not for black people, for people of color to get out on the street. They're at risk when they do that. If anybody's going to get arrested here, it's going to be a black person. It is not safe for them, and they don't need to participate. We need to walk in their name.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, okay.
I know that's right, Granny. She said, look here, Nate. Leave black folks alone. They do not need to be out here in these streets. She said, this is not their fight. They not the ones who put this orange motherfucker in office. It was white folks. So we need to be the ones to try to get his motherfucking ass out. She said the only thing that's going to happen if black folks come out is they're going to get their ass arrested. And we don't need that. So we going to keep on fighting the good fight because they done fought enough. Nate was shooketh. He was not expecting Granny to say that shit. Talking about some, wow, okay. Then he asked her about voter ID.
What do you think about voter ID? Do you think it's racist?
It's 100% a tactic to control the population and prevent people from voting, so that the only votes so that the gerrymandering can work, so that white voters can vote in white Christian males.
Hell yeah, it's racist. Then he had the nerve to ask her if she had a vote between Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance, who would she vote for? And this is what she said.
If you had to vote for a Republican, J.D. Vance or Rubio, which one would you pick if you had to?
Yeah. I would slit my throat.
Ooh, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Granny said, stop playing with me, Nate. You know good and goddamn well I wouldn't vote for nan one of them motherfuckers. Go ahead and take me out. If that's my only options, then I'm going to go ahead and take myself out because you got me fucked up. She said, I'm going up a yonder. I'm going up a yonder to be with my love. Before she vote for Rubio or J.D. Vance. Not happening. I don't know who Meemaw this is, but she officially Granny. That's Nana right there. She not Meemaw no more. That's black people's Nana right there. You got allies and you got accomplices. And Granny is an accomplice. She gonna get out there in the field with black folks and put in that work. She not just gonna sit there and talk. She gonna put action to her motherfucking words. Granny said, you got the right motherfucking one today, Nate.
It seems like there's a lack of diversity here today. That it's mostly people who look like you and I. And I just
it is not for black people, for people of color to get out on the street. They're at risk when they do that. If anybody's going to get arrested here, it's going to be a black person. It is not safe for them, and they don't need to participate. We need to walk in their name.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow.
We love a socially aware grandma that knows black people do not need to be out there, because when we're out there, things are going to get violent and we are going to be the ones arrested. Now, I don't have much to say on the No Kings protest in general. I guess it's good for networking opportunities. It's up to you if it's useful or not. But I love this interview from this lady, and more people need to do interviews like this going forward. Make these interviewers uncomfortable. And she also said something at the end of the interview that I want everyone to hear.
Have you been voting blue most of your life?
I voted blue in the womb.
Ah, wonderful.
Yeah.
If you had to vote for a Republican, J.D. Vance or Rubio, which one would you pick if you had to?
Yeah. I would slit my throat.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a great answer. She also had a response about the Save Vote Act, and she was just very socially aware. Great interview. Once again, yes, black people do not need to be out there, and keep making these interviewers uncomfortable.
She said, I'm not the black people. They ain't got to come out here. No, they don't got to come out here. They done did enough. They need to stay right on where they at, because they going to come out here and get shot. We are...
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. And as you know, I'm your host and presenter Index Stories. There's this video, sorry about that. There's this video that I watched about this white grandma who was trying to talk about the No Kings protest. We all know that the No Kings protests have been going on in the United States for the longest time, and majority of people who are in the No Kings protest are white Americans, definitely. But that's much something intriguing. In majority of it, all black people, we've been talking about this. We've been talking about black people not joining all these protests, because the observation from it all is that anything that will come out of those protests will be for the detriment of a black person. understand in America, when a white person and a black person goes on the same protest, there is higher chances that the black person will end up getting caught, getting arrested, or maybe pew-pewed. This is something that has been happening for the longest time. And so black Americans advised each other that, you know what, this is not our fight, and we are not going to engage this. Well, I think the message reached home to majority of people, because now at least it now started to work to the advantage of black people. At least people now started seeing the value of black people. For the longest time, something that they have been taking for granted. So as the reality is, this is what happened. There's this grandma that was being asked a question publicly on an interview. And he was asked, what do you think, why black people are not at the protest? And what that grandma said really, really made sense, because she is amongst the top 1% of white Americans that understand that the United States is a dangerous place for black Americans, especially during protests and especially when the Americas have always taken the voices of black Americans for granted. And now she's saying that they are in the No Kings protest for black people. They are representing black people, because majority of the things that are being said there are a couple of things that black people have always, when I say always, I mean since black people be in the United States, they have always been talking about the same problems. And brothers and sisters, I really, really find her relevant. I really, really find her making sense. And I also want you to hear what she has to say, and also what black people came and say in regards to this, because this is so much refreshing to hear. And at the same time, it is so satisfying, because black people have made a statement, something that it is really, really important to black people. So brothers and sisters, I want us to watch this video. And I'm just asking, if you're watching me for the first time, I'm definitely asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join the membership. I really get to see what I can offer you. But until then, thank you for those who are always tuning in, watching my videos, subscribing, sharing. Man, I'm really, really grateful for the support that you all are giving me. But until then, let's watch the video. I'll be back.
All right, we got this. Okay. She almost lost me when she said people of color at first, but when she cleaned it up, though. She cleaned it up.
Did y'all see that video of the grandmother who responded to Nate asking her a question? And I feel like the response shocked him. He don't know how to respond. Watch this.
Seems like there's a lack of diversity here today. That it's mostly people who look like you and I. And I just
It is not for black people, for people of color to get out on the street. They're at risk when they do that. If anybody's going to get arrested here, it's going to be a black person. It is not safe for them, and they don't need to participate. We need to walk in their name.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Maybe it's just me, right? So I'm reading his body language and I'm like, damn, is he surprised at the response she gives because it's a good response, or is he surprised because he's like looking for like clickbait content where she was probably going to respond and made it something racial? That's what got me, because I was reading his body language. He was shocked. Now, I don't know whose grandmother this is, but listen, man, shout out to you. And we appreciate you for even acknowledging that. And this is where change happens, when people start paying more attention to what's going on in the real world and stop living in a bubble and pretending because something doesn't directly affect them that it's not happening. This is where change takes place. Shout out to that grandmother, man. I don't know who she is, but I hope she's been very blessed.
Did y'all see that granny that did that interview at that No Kings March? When she was interviewed, a Caucasian man asked that granny, why is everybody out here marching that look like us? Where the black folks at? You know what granny said? It shocked the world. Excuse me, black folks right where they need to be, at home. Now out here marching. They'll be the first ones to get arrested, and they'll be the first ones to get police brutality done on them. We marching in their name. Thank you, Granny. Thank you, Granny. Granny spoke up for us. And she was Caucasian. She said, no, ma'am. Black folks don't need to be out here at this No King March. It ain't best for them. What's best for them is to be at home, sipping their tea, drinking their mocktails, or sipping on their water, minding their business. Thanks, Granny. She sure shocked the world. Like that said.
Absolutely love this.
Fucking one today, Nate. Did y'all see what that white granny said about black people at the No Kings rally? Watch this.
Seems like there's a lack of diversity here today. That it's mostly people who look like you and I, and I just
It is not for black people, for people of color to get out on the street. They're at risk when they do that. If anybody's going to get arrested here, it's going to be a black person. It is not safe for them, and they don't need to participate. We need to walk in their name.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Every time I feel like that I have lost all hope in humanity, somebody comes out of the blues and restores my hope in humanity. Watch this video.
Seems like there's a lack of diversity here today. That it's mostly people who look like you and I, and I just
It is not for black people, for people of color to get out on the street. They're at risk when they do that. If anybody's going to get arrested here, it's going to be a black person. It is not safe for them, and they don't need to participate. We need to walk in their name.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. Okay. What do you think?
First of all, this man chose the whitest looking person in the crowd and decided that he was going to use this woman to push his agenda. You cannot tell me that his actions were not flirted when he spoke to her. He really thought. He was like, first of all, we did this. We created this mess. Black people has nothing to do with this. They don't need to be here because they will be getting arrested. And not just arrested, most likely the worst could happen. Not him being so shocked. Well, okay. What were your expectations, sir? I mean, I don't want to speak on anything that's going to deny me visa. So I'm not going to talk too much. But all I'm saying is, back, we're tired. Let us rest. And honestly, in all honesty, whoever this grandma is, she's officially welcome to the fold. On behalf of Africa, welcome to home. This is home. Tell us what soup you want to eat so that we'll prepare it for you. Is it amala from Nigeria, or datobogi from Liberia, or is it fufu and granite soup from Ghana? Is it, what do you want? Anything that you want, please let us know. We will prepare it for you, grandmama, because you are officially one of the grandmothers in Africa. We will dance for you. We bath for you. We welcome you home because this is your home. You see how you stood there speaking on our behalf with love. We will cook anything you want to eat. That's how we show our love, we Africans. You're welcome home, mama.
About voter ID, do you think it's racist?
It's 100% a tactic to control the population and prevent people from voting, so that the only votes so that the gerrymandering can work, so that white voters can vote in white Christian males.
Have you been voting blue most of your life?
I voted blue in the womb.
Whoever this grandmother is, she's officially an African grandma. We welcome her to Africa, and I'm speaking on behalf of Africans everywhere. If they want to come here and say that they do not agree, I agree for them. We agree for you. I agree for all of them. I agree for the continent. I am speaking for the continent. Welcome to your home. Africa is now your home. You are welcome here. Oh, we love you.
A few years ago, I made a video talking about the ballot or the bullet and what Malcolm X meant by that, and what he meant when he said that you cannot vote your way out of oppression, right? Because a lot of you that are going to these No Kings protests, I'm so sorry to say, a lot of you are performative as fuck. Like, and a lot of y'all don't understand when people say that the activism is performative. What I mean by that is that you go and march for an hour on a really nice day on the weekend, make sure you have the police escort that you need, so whatever, you know what I'm saying, you're complicit in your fucking activism, and then you go and get some Starbucks afterwards. That's performative activism. I hate when y'all get on here and because y'all watch Fruit Love Island because y'all fucking stupid, and y'all go, well, all activism is performative. Shut up. First of all, a lot of you don't stand 10 toes down in what you believe. I've seen this. Like that dude, DJ Soulchild, who's on here telling y'all, oh, fuck what's happening in Israel. Fuck Israel. They should get bombed. When he was just at fucking McDonald's, right? Telling y'all to go back to McDonald's. There was a lot of y'all, and I have the video saved because I knew that y'all would do this, because I knew you don't stand for nothing. Everything is fucking performance to you. Everything is for whatever you're getting out of this fucking camera, whatever you're getting out of this TikTok shit, right? Malcolm X said in his speech, right, that was given on April 3rd, 1964 in Cleveland, Ohio, that he believes in action on all fronts by whatever means necessary. This is what I mean by performative. A lot of your action stops after you leave these protests. After you wear your nice outfits, you take your pictures for Instagram, you make your cute little fucking videos, and then you go to Starbucks after the fucking No Kings protest, right? A lot of you are not anti-exploitation. A lot of you are not anti-degradation, and a lot of you are not anti-oppression. That's exactly what's happening with this country. They are exploiting you, they are degrading you, and they are oppressing you. And the most that you want to do to stop that is vote. That is the furthest that you will ever go. I'm just gonna vote for the different party next time, guys. I'm no longer a Trump supporter. That's all I'm gonna do. That's what the fuck y'all sound like. But you don't want any other action done. And what Malcolm X said in 1964 is exactly what I just said. If we don't do something real soon, I think you'll have to agree that we're going to be forced either to use the ballot or the bullet. It's one or the other in 1964. It isn't that time is running out. Time has run out. Another thing he states is that he is not an American. He says, well, I am one who doesn't believe in deluding myself. I'm not going to sit at your table and watch you eat with nothing on my plate and call myself a diner. Sitting at the table doesn't make you a diner unless you eat some of what's on the plate. Being here in America doesn't make you an American. Being born in America doesn't make you an American. Why? If birth made you American, you wouldn't need any legislation. You wouldn't need any amendments to the Constitution. You wouldn't be faced with civil rights filibustering in Washington, D.C. right now. They don't have to pass civil rights legislation to make a Pollock an American. And he goes on to say that he's one of the 22 million black people living in America who are victims to Americanism. And that's exactly what you are. But now it's not just reduced to black people. It's not just black people that are victims to Americanism. That's why a lot of y'all are out here with this stupid ass No Kings protest that's doing absolutely nothing, because you don't know what it's like to suffer. This is your first time suffering in your life. Like, you don't know what it means, and you don't know how to respond to it, because whiteness has always saved you, and today it's not. So then he goes on, and not in this speech, but in others, where he talks about controlled revolution, and that's exactly what's happening right now. And it's always white liberals every single time. I will argue that the No Kings protests is exactly what Malcolm X was talking about when he talked about how the civil rights movement became mainstream and it reduced it to a controlled artificial spectacle designed to avoid genuine revolutionary change. And that's why I always look at people sideways when they're in my comment section asking me, what do? I will never tell you what I do unless I'm out here doing something with the community on TikTok, because the revolution will not be televised. There's no need for me to get on here and tell you every single fucking move, and I think it's very fucking weird when y'all ask people these questions, right? That's why I really don't get on here and go, this is what you should be doing. Like a lot of content creators will tell you that, right? I just give you the facts. I just say, hey, this is what looks like to be an active consumer, like to actually be conscious about what you're buying, right? Not saying you got to do what I'm doing. I'm just saying that if you have this knowledge, like 7 Brew, for example, I was going to 7 Brew every day for like a week. And then one of my friends was like, bro, stop going to 7 Brew. They're racist. That was her form of activism, because that stopped me from going. And she didn't just say it like that, right? I'm just like kind of diminishing it for the video. But she gave me a whole history of how 7 Brew is racist as fuck. And I said, I'll be giving my money to this company. I'm going back to underground coffee, bitch. You'll never see me at another chain unless it's Dunkin' Donuts. And even then, it's very rare I go to Dunkin' Donuts. If I'm in Buffalo, New York, I'm going to underground coffee. You know this. I'm going to Raha Coffee. Yeah. I'm going to Mocha Reserve on Hurdle. I'm going to the new coffee shop that just opened, Haraz, on Elmwood. I'm going to my local coffee shops. I can't trust these corporations, right? Now, some of these things we can't dodge. That's being victim of Americanism. We can't dodge every single thing because of monopolies. Because Amazon has its fucking hand in every fucking thing, and it's ridiculous. And now I will leave you with this last quote by Malcolm X, because it's one of my favorites. Your vote, your dumb vote, your ignorant vote, your wasted vote, put in an administration in Washington, D.C. that has seen fit to pass every kind of legislation imaginable, saving you until last, then filibustering on top of that. And your my leaders have the audacity to run around clapping their hands and talk about how much progress we're making. And what a good president we have. If he wasn't good in Texas, he sure can't be good in Washington, D.C. because Texas is a lynch state. It is in the same breath as Mississippi, no different. Only they lynch you in Texas with the Texas accent and lynch you in Mississippi with the Mississippi accent. And these black leaders have the audacity to go and have some coffee in the White House with a Texan, a Southern cracker, that's all he is, and then come out and tell you and me that he's going to be better for us because since he's from the South, he knows how to deal with the Southerners. What kind of logic is that? Let Eastland be president. He's from the South too. He should be better able to deal with that than Johnson.
The Democratic Party exploits people's traumas. Watching those Kings protests was hard. When you see the LGBTQ community out there rallying and, spitting on people, wearing costumes, these are all symptoms of mental health. Like, they want us to accept them for who they are, but they don't accept themselves. It's hard to watch. Then Black people out there, thinking that somebody's oppressing. Yes, there's a such thing as systemic oppression. Yes, there's racist attitudes out here. But right now in 2026, 70% of our outcome is based on our own decisions. 30% of it may be the system in our environment, but it's our choices and decisions. And to act like it's not and blame everything on white people or the government is mental health. That is a mental health issue. Because we control our destinies. And there's always going to be some type of hurdles in the road. When I seen the Latinos, you're out here because you want your illegal family members to be in the country. We have laws. We have laws. You have to have some type of mental health disorder to think that you can just bypass people's laws, rules, and structure. Life has structure, order. And then wearing costumes, breaking into ICE facilities. Who does that? These are adults. These are adults. And this is an example they're supposed to be setting for our children. It's hard to watch because the Democrats they only exploit these people's pain and trauma, and they have absolutely no solution for any of it. No solution whatsoever. And then once they overexploit a group, they just go to the next one. It's painful to watch. It's painful. It really is. And for some reason, they think we're out to get them. In their mind, this is what trauma does. It makes people think that somebody's out to get you, or that, everybody is against you, and, nobody's listening to you. And so it's like the Democrats have exploited all their pain. And the King's rallies have been nothing but a bunch of pain and trauma on display. For the world to see, no doubt. For the world to see. It's sad. America is in a time where mental health has ran rapid. This is why you can see all these in every major city.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you definitely doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. And we all can agree that what Granny said really made sense, especially when we try to describe what has really been transpiring in the United States for the longest time. People don't just recognize you. People will always take you for granted until you stop doing what you're doing. People take you for granted because maybe what you're offering, it's in excess. What you're offering is excess. But what if you just slow it down? Slow it down. And that's what Black people did. Black people decided to not offer themselves. Because for the longest time, they have been offering themselves. They have been offering serving the United States. They have been fighting for people who don't even care about them. But when you decide to put a stop, or when you decide to put a pause in what you give for free, Because if you keep on giving it for free, people start taking you for granted. But hey, you need to send a message by not fighting, by not protesting, by not showing up. And that's the message that Black people shared to all these groups of people. So when you hear Granny say whatever she said, I believe she meant it. She meant it because it now makes sense. She has seen, for her to reach the age she is, whatever she says, she is not lying. She is speaking from experience, an observational point of view. She can tell you, indeed, that if Black people come on these protests, their life will probably be in danger. Because that's what America wants. To put the lives of Black people up front. To gamble with the lives of Black people. So while Black people protest, while Black people call out all these things that are going on, at the background, they are benefiting. But their doors won't be knocked at night, as compared to the doors of Black people who protested. Right? Didn't I tell you this part of history? That these folks marked Black folks who are protesting. So what did this police patrol did? They marked every Black person. So they walked door to door at night, checking if they saw you during the day protesting. And then they pew you for doing that. So it's not safe. I'm not saying that that's happening right now. But we have similar things that are happening right now that equally represents what I'm talking about. And so, I think I agree with Granny like 100%. I agree with Granny 100%. Big time. Big time, whatever she's saying, I agree with her because, and I'm saying this is just even psychological. When you take away what you give, or when you give continuously, because Black Americans have been giving to white America for the longest time, showing up in protest, fighting for civilization, the civil rights movement, affirmative action, and all these things. But how did that benefit Black people? You know, that's just a question. It didn't. It didn't help Black people. It didn't solve the problems of Black people. So, whatever you are seeing, or that we are talking about, and what the Granny was saying, she was saying it from experience. Because this has nothing to benefit any Black person. This is a white people's protest. Let them protest. Let them realize that Black people have been putting in the work. Let them realize Black people have been showing up for the longest time. Black people have been showing up for the United States. Black people have been talking about all these problems. But now it is your time to represent Black people. Because when Black people go on the street, it won't be the same. At least you might be inspired, you're a white person. But this is not the same with Black Americans. So, for the safety of Black people, because when they go out there, it's just like setting up themselves in a trap. I think it's safe if Black people stay at home, maybe watch a movie, or maybe go to your job, you know. So I think it's just safe for it to be there, because Black people have been giving their energy. White people, they have not been giving any effort. So this is the time for them to give the efforts, to show up like Black people did, right? So brothers and sisters, please let me know what you think and feel about this video. And as you know, I'm your host and presenter Ejirek Stories, but until then, you know I'm hoping to see you on my next video. And if you're watching me for the first time, thank you for taking your time watching this video, and kindly consider subscribing to the channel, join the membership, and really get to what I can offer you. But until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.